Rising from the desert sands of Saudi Arabia, a structure of unprecedented ambition claws its way toward the sky. Jeddah Tower stands as humanity's boldest architectural dream, the world's first kilometer-high building, a monument to engineering that will dwarf every structure that came before it. This isn't just another skyscraper, it's a vertical city that will reshape our understanding of what's possible when human vision meets unlimited determination. Picture this, a building so tall that clouds will drift past its middle floors, where elevators race upward at 36 kilometers per hour, carrying passengers to heights no human has ever lived or worked before. At over 1,000 meters, that's more than 3,280 feet, Jeddah Tower will stand nearly 200 meters taller than Dubai's Burj Khalifa, obliterating the current record and establishing Saudi Arabia as home to the world's most extraordinary skyline. The story begins in 2011 with Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, a man whose ambitions matched the vastness of his desert kingdom. Just 2 years after Dubai claimed the tallest building crown, this grandson of Saudi Arabia's founder announced something that seemed impossible: a tower that would reach 1 full kilometer into the sky. The audacity was breathtaking. While others built incrementally taller, Saudi Arabia declared its intention to shatter every record in a single spectacular leap. Adrian Smith, the visionary architect behind Dubai's Burj Khalifa, found himself tasked with an even more impossible challenge. His solution was inspired by the very desert surrounding the construction site. Imagine the delicate fronds of a young plant sprouting from arid sand, reaching desperately toward the sun. The tower's three-sided form mirrors this organic growth, with each petal twisting skyward in a dance of concrete, steel, and glass that appears to defy physics itself. But creating a kilometer-high building requires more than artistic vision. It demands revolutionary engineering. The challenge of wind alone at such heights would destroy conventional skyscrapers. At 1,000 meters, wind forces become a monster that could snap buildings like twigs. Smith's team solved this with an aerodynamic masterpiece. The three-pronged shape continuously changes as it rises, each floor slightly smaller than the one below, confusing wind patterns and preventing the destructive vortices that would otherwise tear the structure apart. The foundation alone tells a story of incredible ambition. Deep beneath the desert, 270 massive concrete piles burrow 110 meters into the earth, each one nearly 2 meters wide, creating an underground forest of reinforcement. Above this, a concrete raft 5 meters thick spreads the tower's enormous weight across the desert floor. This isn't just construction, it's the largest foundation ever built for a single structure, a subterranean cathedral supporting humanity's reach toward the heavens. Construction began with tremendous fanfare in 2013, and for 5 years the tower climbed steadily upward. Workers toiled in the desert heat, concrete was poured floor by floor, and by 2018, Jeddah Tower had reached its 63rd floor, roughly 1/3 complete. The building stood like a giant concrete finger pointing accusingly at the sky, promising even greater heights to come. Then, suddenly, everything stopped. The halt came not from engineering failure or lack of funds, but from the dramatic political upheaval that swept Saudi Arabia in 2017. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman launched an unprecedented anti-corruption campaign, and among those caught in its net were key figures behind Jeddah Tower. Prince Al-Walid himself was detained for 3 months, while Bakr bin Laden, chairman of the construction company and half-brother to the infamous terrorist, found himself arrested and held for years. The tower that had symbolized Saudi ambition suddenly became a monument to political turbulence. For nearly 7 years, Jeddah Tower stood frozen in time. Sandstorms scoured its incomplete floors, construction equipment gathered dust, and the world wondered if humanity's boldest architectural dream had become its most spectacular failure. The partially built structure became an eerie monument to interrupted ambition, its concrete core rising like a skeletal finger from the desert, forever reaching toward heights it might never achieve. But in January 2025, something extraordinary happened. Against all odds, after almost 7 years of silence, construction roared back to life. New cranes were erected, workers returned to the site, and concrete began flowing once again. The resurrection wasn't just symbolic, it represented Saudi Arabia's unwavering commitment to its Vision 2030 transformation, the kingdom's ambitious plan to evolve beyond oil dependence into a modern, diversified economy powered by tourism, technology, and international business. The numbers behind the restart are staggering. The new construction contract totals 7.2 billion Saudi riyals, nearly $2 billion just to complete what remains. The pace is breathtaking. 1 floor every 3 to 4 days, with crews working around the clock to make up for lost time. The target completion date of 2028 means the remaining 94 floors must rise at a speed that would make other skyscraper projects seem leisurely by comparison. What makes Jeddah Tower truly remarkable isn't just its height, it's the complexity of life it will contain. Imagine a vertical city where luxury hotel guests on the 50th floor live below office workers on the 80th floor, who in turn work beneath residents in penthouses that hover 600 meters above the earth. The building will house 59 elevators, including 5 double-deckers that will ferry people through this vertical metropolis. Some elevators will race upward at 10 meters per second fast enough to reach the observation deck in minutes, carrying visitors to altitudes where commercial aircraft cruise. The crown jewel sits at the 157th floor, a circular observation deck 30 meters wide, cantilevered into empty space 600 meters above the Red Sea. Originally designed as a helipad, engineers quickly realized that helicopter pilots considered such altitudes too dangerous for regular operations. Instead, it became the world's highest public viewing platform, a glass-encased terrace where visitors will stand higher than any human has ever stood in a permanent structure. The environmental challenges of building in the Saudi desert drove innovations that will influence architecture for decades. The building's three-sided facade features carefully designed notches that create pockets of shadow, shielding outdoor terraces from the brutal desert sun while offering residents and workers spectacular views of Jeddah and the Red Sea beyond. The continuously tapering design doesn't just fight wind, it maximizes usable space on upper floors while reducing the building's concrete core, making construction both more efficient and more economical. Jeddah Tower stands at the heart of an even more ambitious project, Jeddah Economic City, a $20 billion development that will transform 5.3 million square meters of Red Sea coastline into a modern metropolis. This isn't just urban planning, it's nation building. The development will house 100,000 residents in a completely new city designed around the tower, complete with business districts, diplomatic quarters, educational institutions, and cultural amenities that will rival any global capital. The project embodies Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 in concrete and steel. For decades, the kingdom's economy depended almost entirely on oil revenues, but leaders recognized that this dependence threatened the nation's future. Vision 2030 represents the most ambitious economic transformation ever attempted by an oil-rich nation, and Jeddah Tower serves as its most visible symbol. The building will create thousands of jobs, attract millions of tourists, and demonstrate to the world that Saudi Arabia can execute projects of unprecedented complexity and scale. The tower's design pushes multiple engineering disciplines to their absolute limits. Wind engineers used advanced computational modeling and wind tunnel testing to understand how air behaves at altitudes no building has ever reached. Material scientists developed new concrete formulations capable of withstanding the stresses of extreme height while remaining workable in desert conditions. Elevator engineers created systems that can efficiently move people across vertical distances equivalent to a small mountain. The cultural significance extends far beyond engineering achievement. In a region where architectural heritage stretches back millennia, Jeddah Tower bridges ancient and future. The three-petal design subtly echoes traditional Islamic geometric patterns, while the tower's organic form connects to the natural world that inspired Islamic art and architecture. This isn't cultural appropriation, it's cultural evolution, demonstrating how traditional aesthetics can inform futuristic vision. The construction site itself has become a spectacle worthy of the tower it's creating. Specialized cranes, some of the largest ever built, rise alongside the structure they're constructing. Concrete pumps push material to heights that would challenge aircraft, while construction elevators, ferry workers, and supplies up and down distances that would exhaust marathon runners. The logistics alone represent a masterclass in construction management, coordinating thousands of workers, hundreds of subcontractors, and millions of tons of materials in one of the world's most challenging environments. The economic impact extends far beyond the construction site. Property values throughout Jeddah are rising in anticipation of the tower's completion, while international businesses are already planning regional headquarters in the tower's office floors. The observation deck alone is projected to attract millions of visitors annually, generating tourism revenue that will ripple through Saudi Arabia's economy for decades. Hotels, restaurants, transportation companies, and countless other businesses are positioning themselves to benefit from the tower's magnetic pull. But Jeddah Tower represents more than economic opportunity. It embodies humanity's eternal drive to build higher, reach further, and achieve the impossible. Every civilization has left monuments that define its ambitions. The pyramids of Egypt, the cathedrals of Europe, the skyscrapers of America. Jeddah Tower will stand as the monument of our current era, a testament to what becomes possible when visionary leadership, cutting-edge technology, and unlimited determination unite around a common goal.